Welcome to Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass. Today's date is June the 12th, 2024. Yeah, I don't have a prompter up there. We have some technical difficulty. That's why we're coming on so late today, so we apologize for that. Well, hopefully we'll get it straightened out by next week. Anyway, welcome to the show. I got my co-host here, Mr. Mark Stoudenmeyer, who's going to teach me some bluegrass music on the banjo today. The weather outside is partly cloudy. It's supposed to have some showers this afternoon, but it's going to be a really, really nice day. Okay, I'm going to try to remember all my shout-outs go to Jane, Martin, Josh, Heather, Carter, Hampton, Hudson, Blaine. Yeah, I'm getting them. I don't have a prompter, so I got to remember all these things. Yeah, and Blaine. Yeah. Well, if I forgot some, sorry. Sylvia, Heidi. Okay, so we'll move forward a little bit. Let me see what is on the agenda next. Oh, we got the Heading Home Festival coming up, so make sure you get on their website, Heading Home, and find out the dates. I believe it's in October, early October. It's a 3-day festival, so make sure you get to that as soon as you can. Our sponsor for today is Blaine Albertson with the auction, Jeff Martin Auctions. They just had an auction last Saturday, and I'm sure it was a good one, so put them on your schedule for the next auction. They do monthly auctions there, boats, cars, trucks, RVs, just about anything that you can think of. They sell at the Jeff Martin Auctioneers, and contact Blaine Albertson. Don't have his phone number, but just go to, just type in Jeff Martin Auctioneers, and his name will pop up in there somewhere, and he can help you with all your needs, vehicle needs there at Jeff Martin Auctioneers. Let me see what else we have coming up. We have a show here Saturday night. I don't have their names because that's not on the prompter, but it's two of them. They're coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're going to do a show Saturday from about 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. So come. It's a free event. We're going to just give donations, whatever they are. Oh, no, this group is not from Nashville. This group is from around Spartanburg area. And she was a fiddle player. She used to come when she was little. And now she's a real good fiddle player. Her husband's a banjo player. And they have a guitarist, and they'll be here this Saturday. So it's a free event, so if you're in the area, come and see us at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina for the show. And you can also come on Saturday nights, every Saturday night, from 6:30 to 11 at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina, for free entertainment. Best bluegrass music in the upstate. Isn't it, Mark?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Absolutely.
And he's
Come visit on Saturday night.
Yeah, Mark's one of the participants there. He plays the bass and banjo. He plays anything.
I play the bass here,
Yeah,
not
usually plays the
not anything else.
Anyway, yeah, that's what we do here. Okay, in today's show, Mark has agreed to come and maybe teach me a song on this five-string banjo, huh, Mark?
We get a lot of questions, even in our slow jams. We usually do 1 or 2 slow jams here at Breazeale's on Monday night for folks who are, haven't been playing very long and are learning their instrument. And in bluegrass, if you've ever watched close, especially the guitar players and the banjo players, you'll see that a lot of times there's this little gadget. Don's has his up right on the neck right there. Would you hold yours up and point to it?
Yeah, right here.
That's called a capo, and we get a lot of questions about how to play with a capo, so I kind of thought we would discuss that first. The most recent one was I had a question yesterday about the use of the capo, so we're just going to talk a little bit about that this morning, and that'll probably take most of the time, but so we're going to get into just a little bit of music theory. So I'm going to give Don a little bit of music theory lesson
Great.
here.
I need it bad.
Knowing a little bit about music helps, even if you're a bluegrass musician, So I recommend y'all get a beginner's music theory book and kind of delve into it. And What you want to learn especially is the scale, how to build a major scale and how to build a major chord. And I'm going to talk about the major chord this morning. We've talked about the scale before on an earlier show, but going to talk about the major chord because listen to this banjo when I strum across it, and I've got it amplified and the amp keeps popping a little bit, but I hope you can hear this. Let me go the other way. Y'all hear that? It sounds nice, doesn't it? It's in good harmony. Not quite like a guitar. If you strum across a guitar that's tuned properly, you don't get a major chord. You get sort of a hodgepodge. It's probably some chord, but it's not a major chord. So when I say a major chord, we tune the 5-string banjo to an open G chord most of the time. You hear that? It's a G chord. Now, what makes up a major chord? We call it a triad because there are 3 notes that make up a major chord, okay? They're the first, third, and fifth notes of the major scale for that chord. So if we want a G chord, G is going to be our 1 note. Then if you go up the musical alphabet, remember the musical alphabet really goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then it starts over an octave higher with A again. And you can really see that well if you'll sit down at a piano keyboard and fool with it. It's much easier to see on a piano than on these fretted instruments. But it'll go up an octave. So the first note of the G scale is G. The second note is A because A comes after G in the musical scale. The third note is B. So 1 and 3, those 2 notes are part of the G chord, G, B. C is your 4th note. D is your 5th note. So the G major chord is G, B, and D. And here they are on the banjo. G, B, D. Here that makes up a pretty chord. Okay, and I'm not fretting anything. That's tuned open. The open strings are tuned to a chord. Now, the banjo has 5 strings. Well, that's only 3, so how about the other 2? Well, the other 2 are repeats. The 4th string is D, this D an octave lower. If you'll hear, that's the same note, but it's a lower pitch, an octave lower. And that has to do with the physics of the vibrations. You'll have to look up your physics to get that, but it has to do with frequencies of vibration. The lower the note, the slower the vibration. The 5th string, which is kind of unique because it starts right here at the 5th fret, it's another G. So here's our 3rd string open that I hit a while ago. It's a G note, and the 5th string is a high G, an octave higher. Hear that? It's much higher in pitch. That's the 5th string. The 5th string is sort of known as what gives the banjo its ring, so to speak, because it's high. It's generally played as a drone string. We don't fret on it a whole lot unless we're playing certain chords and we want to make a 7th chord like that or a 6th chord like that, if I can get it. See, that's a D6 because I've added the 6th note and I get that on the 5th string. If we're playing melodic banjo, we might fret on the 5th string some. But mostly in Scruggs picking, it's a drone string. So what we've said is the banjo's tuned to an open G. So Scruggs playing is really playing in the chords. It's what's called an arpeggio. This is an arpeggio. It's playing the chord 1 note at a time instead of strumming like that or vamping like you would on a banjo or mandolin. So Scruggs playing is really sort of like arpeggios. Like I'm going to do one of the basic rolls is the 3rd string, the 2nd string, the 5th string, and the 1st string. It's called the alternating thumb roll. I kind of call it usually the Cripple Creek roll. If I put a slide with it, Okay, see there, I've just played Cripple Creek and I fretted very little because mostly it's the open G chord. So,
I had a question.
all right, what's your
Can you
question?
explain to folks out there what chromatic playing is?
Chromatic or melodic, normally it's called a melodic scale. Basically, we run major scales like here's a melodic G scale. Now, what makes that melodic as opposed to single string? Single string, we hit the same string like 2 or 3 times in a row, whatever it takes. This is a single string G scale. Notice that scale, the notes are more clipped. They end quicker. They don't sustain as much because when I go hit the A and then I go on to the B. Well, if I play that melodically, I'm attempting to never hit the same string twice in a row, so it flows. It more or less flows, okay? So if I can play with this pick deal I have to use now. And that's not very good. I'll try it again. Now where melodic comes in handy is if you want to play fiddle tunes note for note, like Devil's Dream. Whoop, I lost my electrics. Okay, that's one of the first melodic pieces Bill Keith introduced with Bill Monroe back in the early 1960s. It's a fiddle tune called Devil's Dream, and as you can see, if I'm playing melodically, the banjo sort of flows. If you're a 3-finger picker, I can't be a 3-finger picker anymore, so I'm trying to deal with this flat pick, and now I've got it on my index finger because my hand is continually getting worse with this dystonia I have. But anyway, if you're a 3-finger picker, that's your fingers sit right over the strings, and you're much more accurate and got much more speed. And that melodic can flow very smoothly and very quickly when you get practiced at it, and you can play all kind of fiddle tunes note for note. Whereas the Scruggs style sort of just approximates the melodies through the chordal arpeggios. So you still hear the melody, but it's not as note for note is like the melodic is. Yeah. So is that?
Yeah, that answers my question.
Explain melodic.
Yeah.
Don plays a little melodic.
Yeah, I do a little melodic. Larry Bell. No, I'm sorry. Charles Wood taught me how to do a little melodic.
Larry taught you the first because he taught you that Cripple Creek thing.
No. Charles Wood taught me.
Charles taught you that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Charles taught me how to do that little melodic run. And I really didn't like to care for melodic playing, but in some tunes it sounds good.
Yeah,
It
does. It's a great way, I think, to play the banjo. When I was a kid and could play, I played a lot of melodic because it was really just been introduced a few years before I started. Bill Keith went with Bill Monroe in about 62 or 3 or thereabouts, and he was probably the main influence, although a gentleman from up here in Converse, South Carolina, up around Spartanburg, named Bobby Thompson, who became the key banjo studio musician in Nashville in the 60s and 70s, he was playing it also. A little bit different from the way Bill Keith played, so both of them get credit for introducing melodic banjo.
Yeah, we just went not long ago to Nashville to hear, what's his name? The guy that's just learning banjo?
Yeah, a guy, guy named Bela Fleck.
Yeah, Bela.
Probably the best ever, but
Yeah.
and Bela always gives homage to Earl Scruggs because Earl started it all for us. He's what inspired us and got us interested in playing the instrument, and people like Bela have taken it much further.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Star Trek.
Yeah.
taking it to a galaxy where no man's gone before.
Yeah.
And now there are others who are taking it out like Bela. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it is amazing.
we play in Bluegrass. I said I was going to talk about capo. So now you know we play a lot in open chords, or we'll pick in the C chord, or we'll pick in the D chord. But if we want to play in the key of A, because a lot of bluegrass bands play in A or B flat, so what do? The way you play Earl Scruggs banjo, you need these open strings. Well, this is an A chord. I have to bar across it at the 2nd fret. Well, that kind of ties up all my fingers here, so I can't really be flexible. So we have this little device called a capo. You'll see guitar players put them on, and you'll see banjo players put them on. So if I put that on the 2nd fret, now the chromatic scale, G here, 1st fret would be G sharp. If I put it here, the 2nd fret would be A. So I'm going to put this capo on the 2nd fret, and we're going to play a tune in A. Don sings several in A. Can you see if your banjo's in tune?
I'll get mine ready here.
Probably going to run out of time here pretty quick.
Oh,
But
that's okay. We'll be back next week and we'll finish and do another show.
okay, now see, I put this little capo on the 2nd fret, and basically all I've done is I've taken this nut and I moved it up 1, 2 frets. So I moved it from the G position to the G sharp to the A. So on the 2nd fret, if I'm going to play in the G chord, I'm really playing in the key of A. Now, you banjo players, you got this 5th string to deal with because it's not nice and neat. So we've got what's typically called railroad spikes or some kind of 5th string capo. And you have to tuck your 5th string under that spike, if I can do that. There, and then that tunes that. Here, that tuned that up to the A note. Usually you have to tweak the 5th string a little bit. Usually when you put it under a peg, it'll be a little high, a little sharp. Okay, now we're playing in A. Okay, now see, I can play, let's see, I played a little Cripple Creek. Now Cripple Creek's usually played in A, so I'll do the same moves exactly like I did a while ago. Now, see, I'm playing Cripple Creek in A, yet I'm playing it with the same finger motions and movements that I would have played down here in G with no capo on. So basically, I've changed the banjo tuning from an open G to an open A. So now we can play in the key of A. You want to sing one in A? We got time?
Yeah, we got time. I don't normally play the banjo in A, so what do you want to do?
Do a little Kentucky Girl, and I'll just chop a rhythm for you. But we'll do a song.
That's just 2 chords, right?
Yeah,
So it'd be
just the A and your D7. Your D7, this chord, back 1. Your 2-finger D right there. Yeah, that's all it is. It's open in that. Okay. You just sing a verse of it, and we'll show them we're playing in A, okay?
ready?
Yeah.
Kentucky girl,
Mm-hmm.
are you lonesome tonight, Kentucky girl? Do you miss me? Is that old moonshine on the gas? Has it been on the night that kissed me in the valley? In the mountains so high, sweet in all the world, in a cabin
Good job, Don.
Yeah.
Are y'all
About the way-
meeting Saturday night,
Yes, sir. Yeah. We're live. We're doing
We're
a
live on
show
the
right
air
now.
right now.
6:30?
Yeah. Yeah. We're live on the air right now, so we're doing an interview. So if you'll wait, we'll talk to you about how many minutes?
Not me.
5 minutes.
5
Yeah,
minutes,
we'll be
we'll
done
be-
in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I just want, I'm gonna bring my family.
Yeah. Bring them
Okay.
Saturday night. Yeah.
On
All
Saturday.
right,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all heard Don roll all the way through that while he sang, and that's pretty hard to do on the banjo.
Yeah.
Usually that comes along much later, so Don's doing very well. He was rolling and accompanying himself. Now, we had the capo on the second, so we were playing in A, and if we wanted to play in B flat, we would slip it up one more to the third fret, and we're playing in B flat. You have to adjust the fifth string again. If we need to play in B, which a lot of bluegrass is in B, we slip it up to the fourth fret. And now we're playing in B, but it's just like we're playing in G because we're using all the same finger motions and everything. And I don't know if this capo will, but some capos will let you go all the way to the fifth fret. And if we go to the fifth fret, like right here, well, this one I think will too. If we go to the fifth fret like that, we're playing in the key of C. So we can go all the way from open G to open C and play everything in between as if we were playing down here in G. We just have to go to the different frets above the capo. Basically, again, all we've done is we've taken this nut, and to play in C, we've slid it up 5 frets. And the way you get that is G is open, G sharp is 1, A is 2, A sharp or B flat is 3, B is 4, so C would be the 5th fret. So that's how you get that. Now, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. That's how you sort of figure out what you're playing in and how you can play open banjo in all these different keys. If you need to play above C, I would recommend you learn to play in a C chord, because if you play in a C chord, if you're playing open C down here and you put the capo on the second, now you're playing in D chord. If you put it on the fourth, you're playing in E chord, and if you put it on the fifth, you're playing in F chord if you're playing out of a C chord position. And then the next one up is really G, which we go back to open again. So if you can learn to play the banjo in the keys of G open, which is common, or learn to play your melodies with the C-shaped chord, as Earl Scruggs did expertly many times, you can play in almost any key on this instrument and actually play a lead break and work it out. And I think that's, Don, that's probably all I've got
Okay.
to say today.
Well, let's maybe we can close it out with Amazing Grace.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let me get this fifth string back in shape. Okay? You're pretty out of tune.
Yeah.
You're pretty out of tune.
Yeah, I'm
there.
out of tune. Let's tune her up.
Tune her up right quick. Okay, I kind of kept it
Yeah.
going. Okay, you ready?
Somebody was using it Saturday night, so
Okay.
they played a different.
Is it in now? That sounds okay now. Much better. Much better. Praise how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but
dog. How
Right.
was
Are we there?
that? Thank you guys for watching. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week. Same time, same station, same channel. Hopefully we'll be on time next week. Thank you for